Lions, Lions, Lions. It's here, people. The tour properly kicks off tomorrow with the first game on Aussie soil, and it's Western Force versus the Lions. And in this video, I'm going to talk through all the team selections, do a quick review of where each team is at, tell you a couple of lovely stories about the players from Perth, and give you my thoughts and predictions on how the game will unfold. Hello, amateurs. Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be here with you throughout the Lions series and beyond, so hit subscribe to follow along. Okay, let's kick this thing off by talking about the Lions and their game against Argentina over in Dublin last week. Now, there was a lot of negative press around this, I thought, and actually, I was more positive than that. I thought you could see a lot of what the Lions were trying to do. There was a lot of shape and purpose and a desire to move the ball and actually challenge defences, which I'm a big thumbs up of. Thinking back to the South Africa tour, the previous tour from 4 years ago, I don't remember anything about that. I don't remember any bits of quality play. I just remember a dour, turgid series that had very little rugby played in it. And I don't want that again. I want this series to be memorable. I want it to be exciting. I want it to be thrilling. And the way Lions played against Argentina last week leads me to believe that that's going to be the case. So I'm excited. Now, of course, there's things to fix. The line out was a bit of a shambles at times. They threw too many offloads. Some of them were inaccurate. Some of them were just plain dropped cold, which is inexcusable, really. But if some of those have gone to hand, if some of those are stuck, and you only need probably 2 or 3 of them, I think the Lions would probably have been winners, absolutely, and probably comfortable winners. They probably need to be a little bit more direct at times as well, and they need to build the trust in defence. I think there was a few times people were looking sort of side to side, not quite sure exactly who was next to them and whether they could trust them, and that will come in the coming weeks. So, yeah, I'd have loved the Lions to win, of course, but overall, I'm feeling pretty positive about how they are shaping up. And of course, they're trying to play a new game plan coached by Andy Farrell and a majority of Ireland coaches, and they were missing all of those Leinster players, which would have been a massive hindrance, particularly in an opening game. So the fact that they showed that much cohesiveness, that much togetherness, that much sort of understanding of what they were trying to do, thumbs up from me. That's what I think. Okay, Lions team news. Let's get into it. Injuries to Jamison Gibson Park and Hugo Keenan, they are still not available, but I think they're going to be available for the next game, which is against the Reds. And in this team, there are 9 debuts, run-on debuts, and one of them, as we look at the forwards, is Dan Sheehan, who's captaining on debut, which is a really rare honour. Congratulations to him. I know he was had some Irish leadership in recent years, and I think that's quite possibly a nod to the fact that he is very much in line to be the starting hooker when the Test series comes along, as things stand. Also in this forward pack, we got props Schumann and Furlong. I think Schumann probably is third in line at the moment in the loosehead ranks. Ellis Genge went very well against Argentina, and Andrew Porter has been a very good performer for a number of years now. So I think Schumann is going to be looking for him, for personally, beyond anything else. If he wants to have a chance in that Test team, he's going to have a big game this week. And, you know, I also think that Ty Furlong's got a bit of work to do as well. His quality is unquestionable, but he's not played a lot of rugby. He's got to prove not only his fitness, but his form as well. I think he's really going to have to come on in the games that he plays on this tour to cement that place. In the second row, we got 2 big lumps in Scott Cummins and Joe McCarthy. That is a meaty second row partnership. They can both play as well, obviously, but that's abrasive. Scott Cummins will be calling the lineouts, and we'll be looking to see, along with Ty Byrne, another proper lineout operator in the back row, whether that can be tidied up in this game. I think the Lions going forward are unlikely to play 3-7s. I think that was possibly either an experiment or forced because of people missing through injury or unavailability, that they went that way last time out. I suspect we'll see a big man either at 6 or at 8 for the rest of this tour. However, there's no big man at 8 in this forward pack because it's Henry Pollock. And along with Schumann, I think this is another guy who I think was probably an outsider for a Test spot anyway. If he's going to get into this Test team, and he could, like he's been such a rampage for most of this season, that it's not beyond the realms of possibility that he could. but he's going to have a big game, I think, in this one in particular, because off the bench against Argentina, a couple of costly errors. He did some really good things as well, but just a couple of moments where he would have been disappointed with himself for sure. So I think he's going to have a properly rampant game in this one to sort of just about cling on to potential test selection. Alongside them in the back row, Josh van der Fleer, a man of undoubted quality. And again, the competition at 7 is so fierce that whenever you've got the opportunity, whenever you've got that jersey, you're going to have to play well. Otherwise, test rankings could just disappear in a heartbeat. Okay, on to the backs here. We got Thomas Williams at Finn Russell, half-backs. That is a lovely looking pairing, isn't it? Like, they can play any which way you like, and really adaptable. And I think if the Lions are going to get on the front foot, it could really be sparked by the pair of them. Then in the centre pairing, I love this partnership. I think Sione Tuipulotu is right up there with the very best inside centres in the world. He can do absolutely everything. And alongside him, Gary Ringrose, who is a fabulous player. I suspect this could be a potential test partnership. I think Tuipulotu he's not nailed on. He needs to find some form after injury. But if he can get back to the form that he's shown over the last couple of years, then for me, he has to start at 12 in the test matches. And then it's down to whether it's going to be Gary Ringrose or countryman Hugh Jones to join him. So I think this is a big game for Ringrose. I think it's a short tour, relatively. I think when you play, you've got to take your chance. So I think these two, if Ringrose is going to partner Tuipulotu in the test match team, then I think they're going to have to really click together this week and show what they can do. I'm excited to see what happens. On the wings, we've got James Lowe and Matt Hansen. I love the pair of them. I think they're fantastic players in very different ways. And they absolutely go into the Andy Farrell mold, where he wants wingers to get involved off their wings. And both of these guys do it in different ways. James Lowe with huge power, Matt Hansen with his understanding of where the game's at and his ability, his footballing ability, almost like a fly half, to be honest, to put other people into space. I love them both, and I think they could be both test starters, although I love Tommy Freeman as well, so that's a big challenge there. And at fullback, Elliot Daly, the Lions' fullback issues with Blair Kinghorn playing the top 14 final this weekend, and Hugo Keenan still injured, means that for a second week in a row, we got a fullback who hasn't been picked as an out-and-out fullback. Along with Marcus Smith, I think Elliot Daly is pretty much a utility player, and I think his role on tour, along with Marcus Smith, is to fill in the gaps. I don't think either of them are likely to really force a starting place in the test team unless we see some injuries, but their versatility is invaluable, and I think Elliot Daly will show that in this game here. Onto the bench, and oh my golly gosh, that is a lot of very good players, isn't it? We've got Kelleher, Porter, and Will Stewart. We've got Ollie Chesham and Jack Conan. We've got Alex Mitchell, Hugh Jones, and Marcus Smith, and that is just a huge amount of talent to bring on. I'm going to be interested. The biggest one I'm interested in is where Ollie Chesham comes on. Ty Burns starting his second game in 2 weeks. I suspect he might get swapped for him, and it might be relatively early, shortly after half-time. And again, then we're going to be seeing 3 line-out options. But then if Jack Conan comes on as well, then we've got another big man in there. Is that what Andy Farrell's heading towards? Having 4 big men in the back 5 of the scrum. Who knows? He started with 3 sevens in that first game, so it's hard to tell. I think Hugh Jones, coming back from fitness, will probably just get a short run out to just get himself back game fit. I think trying to get Gary Ringrose playing with Tuipulotu will be the higher priority in this one. And then Marcus Smith, I think that's where he's going to be in the test series. I think the number 23 jersey is his. And I think he's got a big role to play in it. Okay, on to the Western Force team. And we'll put it up on the screen now. And interestingly, we have got some Wallabies in here, some current Wallabies from the current Wallabies squad. Initially, Joe Smith said he was not going to be releasing them back to their provinces to play against the Lions. But has there been some kind of political push here by the Lions management? There's a lot of talk about the Lions potentially choosing to tour France or Argentina or somewhere else in the coming years. If this tour was not competitive throughout the provincial games, Would that knock the Wallabies down in their standings as a potential Lions tour destination? All these are questions. I don't know the answers, but it's possible because everybody wants to see competitive games throughout the tour. And with this selection, we should see a competitive game on Saturday. And if the Lions do go on to beat them well, at least you can say, well, it was about as good a team as the Western Force could put out. There are 11 players in this team with Test experience, 6 current Wallabies in Tom Robertson, Darcy Swain, Nick the Champion de Crespigny. What a name that is. I hope I said it right. Nick White, Dylan Peach, and Ben Donaldson. The Wallabies have retained 3 in their squad who are lock Jeremy Williams, back rower Carla Tizzano, and winger Harry Potter, who's well known to Premiership fans over here, along with Nick White, along with Ollie Hoskins, who I'll talk about in a minute. Also in the Force squad, but injured, sadly, is Kurtley Beale. He's hoping to be fit to play in some of the games later in the tour. And England international Nick Dolly on the bench as well for this one. So this is a strong-looking side. But they only managed to finish 9th in Super Rugby this year. Only 4 wins. So in terms of their own competition, they haven't done that great. But if you look throughout this side, it's a pretty strong-looking lineup. It's going to be the final game for former Wallabies lock Stan Carter. What a way to go out. It's also going to be the final game for Ollie Hoskins, as I mentioned earlier, well known to Premiership fans from his time at London Irish and more recently Saracens. And this is a really interesting one because basically Western Force have got him back on loan for the final month of his career, that literally finishing after this game. And my initial thoughts was I felt sorry for the player who would have played tight end in this game because it's a huge opportunity. But when I got further into this story, I think it's a fabulous thing that they've all done. So Ollie Hoskins had played for the Force before for a couple of seasons. He's actually a local lad. He grew up in the area. He was a supporter of the Western Force before he, even got into playing rugby at all. And even more than that, his mum was an influential figure in actually getting Super Rugby over to Perth in the first place. So there's a big family story there. And I think this is just a wonderful gesture, both from Western Force and getting him back for the game and for Saracens in releasing him from his contract early to make this happen. I think we all fell in love with Ollie Hoskins when he got his 1 cap for Australia against England over here and he sort of broke down crying and all that kind of stuff. So go on the big man. Have a great final day and well done to everybody for getting that done. All righty. What do we think? First of all, why is it important to have a competitive game? Why is it important that the Wallabies are included in these provincial games? Well, first of all, the spectacle. Everybody wants to see a competitive game. I want to see the Lions testing themselves against some of the players they're going to be playing against in the Test series. Stories will emerge from that. Rivalries will come from that. Remember Justin Harrison in 2001 against Austin Healy? That was a huge thing. And there have been many, many others throughout the course of Lions history. We need that. It's a story, and that builds the game. The Lions need it. The Lions need it to help prepare. They need it to sharpen their sword. They need to be playing against the best players to have any chance of arriving at the Test series on good form, basically, and in good shape. And just integrity, right? I think it's just integrity. Like if you're playing against the Lions, you pick your best team. That's the way it should be. That's the integrity of sport. And we've seen it in various competitions in recent years. Because of too much rugby, teams are sending weakened sides and it devalues everything. So just the integrity of the tour, I think is important, and I'm glad it's been done. How do I think this game is going to go? Well, I think although the Force have been relatively poor in Super Rugby this year, I think there's enough good players in there, and I think the emotion of it, and I think the desire, this once-in-a-lifetime kind of opportunity will take them along this way in this game. But I think the Lions will slowly find their feet. They'll get there, and I think the bench will absolutely take this away in the final quarter for the Lions to probably win, I don't know, by at least 3 scores, I think. I think they're probably heavy favourites in this game, and I think they'll take it away. All righty, that's what I think. But what do you think, more importantly? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll join you there for a friendly conversation. Do you think the Lions are going to win like I do? Any other players on either side that you think are going to play a major role? Who's your favourite player in this Lions squad, or favourite combination, maybe? Where do you see the real positives coming from the Lions. Let us know in the comments down below. While you're down there, give this video a thumbs up. It helps other people find it, and you can subscribe there. You can watch that one next, and do not forget to get out and play.